Hi all, welcome back to another episode of Commanding the Market. I'm your host, Nathan Hale, and I'm joined by my co-host, Trent Richardson.
Wow. We're here again.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's been a lifetime. It's been a long
It has been
time.
At least one lifetime, at least. Yeah. For sure. So,
it's good to
how
be
goes
back,
it?
though. What's that? How is it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. Obviously been very busy with life, just keeping me preoccupied with other things. But, you know, I was thinking, you know, we hadn't chatted for over a month now, and I was starting to get the feeling we need to go back to school.
You know, I think it is time to go back to school. It's been a while since I've studied, you know, and learned some lessons, you know, so, you know, hey, you know, it's a good thing that Magic just came out with this new set featuring colleges. So, you know, maybe it's my third whiff at college this time around. So
could be. Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So we got some specs for, you know, that Silver Quill, that Quandrix, that Lorehold, that
Prismari,
that other stuff, Prismari, that
Witherbloom,
Golgari. Yeah, Strixhaven is upon us. And, you know, we've talked a few times since it's come out, and, you know, we both kind of have the same sentiments about the set. While fantastic limited format, you know, there's sweet art, you know, awesome new things happening with the way they're printing cards, but it just feels a little underwhelming for EDH.
Yeah, and I think one of the cooler mechanics of the set, since it just doesn't work in EDH, that's the lesson learned mechanic. It just, you know, that it naturally doesn't fall well for EDH. And, you know, we've gotten a lot of sets and a lot of cards that are really good for EDH. And I know a lot of the, you know, standard Pioneer Modern players have been pining for stuff, you know, to work in their format, even saying Modern Horizons was Commander Horizons and the like. So, you know, we can have the occasional set that honestly is catering to the other formats more than EDH, and that's fine. I will say the arcane cards, though, they are gorgeous. I absolutely love them. They are, the art-wise, the coolest thing I've seen WotC do, period. The Japanese ones are amazing works of art. And I just...
Double chef's kiss.
Yeah. So while the set itself I'm not huge on, there was actually some nice EDH staples printed in those arcane cards that were just, I mean, really feel that was targeted directly for Commander. Your Demonic Tutor, your Teferi's Protection, your Tainted Pact, your Cultivate. These are all just staple cards in our format. And now we have really, really cool artwork to just bling out our decks with. And just... Yeah,
for sure.
Kudos to WotC on those arcane cards. But, you know, before we get into all these arcane cards, let's take a moment and talk about some previous cards we discussed on the show and how they've been moving. Go ahead, open us up with that first one there.
Yeah, so Bloodline Necromancer. Back in early March, we suggested this card when the market price was around $2.92. But now the market price is at $3.88. So we've almost got $1 up on it. And there's only fewer than 60 near mint copies available on TCG Player. So I know that you were fortunate enough to get a small position on about 10 copies. I think you picked them up around $1.50.
Yeah. I basically back in March, I bought out Star City Games on their supply of them for $1.49. And yeah,
good call there. Nice double up, you know. So
yeah, I'm gonna wait. Hey. I was a little worried that we'd see a reprint potentially with the Commander sets coming out, that maybe it would show up in the Wizard thing being a thing, that we would see that card reprinted, but it dodged that. So there's still a chance I could see a reprint with the vampires when Innistrad comes out in either the set or more likely in one of the more potentially in one of the precons surrounding it. But I'm not as worried, but it still potentially could happen. So my plan is to let this keep climbing and then to move to sell probably about a month or so before spoiling season starts, so I can move my sell my position at least enough to recoup my initial cost prior to any spoiling, just in case it's reprint and it sees a drop. I want to at least recoup.
Well, if it goes up anymore, you only have to sell a couple of them. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Good deal. So and I think there's selling, one more here too.
Well, speaking of selling here, I was paying attention to. I had a couple random boosters of Mono Horizon sitting around. I decided to crack them board the other day, and cracked a Morphon in one of them. And
nice.
I was like, cool. I already have a Morphon. He's in my Scarecrow deck, which I'm going back and going to pull him out because I'm like, this is really not good in this deck because. I mean, it's not bad in the deck, but it's only okay in the deck. I'm going to shift it over to my Sliver deck probably. But either way, I already had one, and I kind of only barely use it. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and sell the other one because I've been noticing the price has been hiking pretty steadily. But I projected that it wouldn't hold. So I went ahead, I sold into the high, which was around $30. Sold into the high. And I sold mine for like 25, 26. I wanted to sell it quick. I put it up. It sold within an hour. Nice. And now the market price is already, a week later from that, is already dropped down to $23 market price. So I waited for that peak, what I thought was the peak, flat for a couple days, sold into that immediately with a enticing price. Like I said, I was able to flip it within hours of posting it. And then, of course, it started going back down. So a lot of times with selling, kind of what I'm getting at, there was the hype with the slivers from Time Spiral Remastered. So I knew if I sold into the hype, I would get probably the best price I'm going to get. And that's not to say that long term Morphon's not going to keep, once again start going up. He's a very good card, very good commander, but he's also on the list, and we don't know how long he's going to stay on the list. So at this point, I have diamond hands for the most part with the reserve list cards, but with the other cards, there's a chance to reprint. So when there's a chance to sell into a high or a spike, I like to do that. And I just want to kind of point that out as a seller's note there. But with that, let's
good point.
Let's start talking some Strixhaven. What do you say?
Yeah, for sure. So, we're going to start off how we normally don't because, the first two cards on our list are uncommons. So
commonly
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and roll up into it. So the first one we got here is Stormkiln Artist. It's a 3 and a red, 2/2 dwarf shaman, and it says whenever Stormkiln Artist gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and then it also has Metalcraft, which reads
Magecraft.
Whenever you cast or copy Magecraft.
You'd think with a dwarf it'd be Metalcraft, right?
Yeah. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. So TCG market 66 cents with a mid of 70 cents. Card Kingdom, pick them up at 79 cents a piece. Star City Games, 75 cents. Channel Fireball, soon to be the Channel Fireball market. So that's going to be interesting. What's going to happen there? 79 cents. And near bulk on TCG, you can pick them up as low as 44 cents a piece. So I think you picked up like 40 copies of this card for about 49 cents.
Yeah, I bought out
market
Star
price
City
was
Games.
around 45. You did go with Star City Games?
Yeah, I bought them out, and they've since restocked, but they also jumped their price to 75 cents after I bought them out.
Nice. So I'm guessing you bought 36 copies because that's what they normally post up.
No, on Uncommons they go up to 80 or 100. I think it's 100 or 99.
Oh, okay.
They had left like I say I bought them out. They had a couple copies left when I was done, but basically I bought them out.
Okay. I mean, it is going to take a while to really jump up, assuming it doesn't become like a staple and standard. But I mean, long term, you can see some real gains from it. I mean, it's a staple in any Spellslinger deck. I mean,
yeah.
Play a opt to get a treasure. So basically opt for free. I mean, that's sick. And forget about having like, anointed procession or something that lets you double your tokens that you create.
Oh yeah.
Or does that only do treat?
Anointed,
tokens?
I think may only do creature, but I mean, a doubling season type effect that can copy tokens.
Yeah.
You know the card
this makes me think of. Sick. What's that?
I forgot the name of it suddenly. Black card.
Apparently, it doesn't make you think
Ixalan of it. Or Rivals. I think it's from Ixalan, not Rivals. But it's also uncommon.
The Direfleet Plunder or something like that.
Yeah. That card is an uncommon, very similar to this. When you do a thing, in that case, it's whenever a creature you control dies. Doesn't have to be non-token. You get a treasure. And this guy is basically the same thing, but works in a different sort of way. Rewards you for doing something with a treasure, in this case, caster or copy. And the thing about the copy that is so amazing with Magecraft is there's so many ways to go infinite forks. Like we say Spellslinger, but you want to run this in any kind of fork deck also, because if you can fork a fork, you can go infinite. But what do you do with that infinite? At the end, you're like, okay, I fork a fork infinitely, and at the end, I copy your cultivate. I get one cultivate. But I had 1,000 or 1,000,000 triggers of a spell or copy. It does nothing unless you have something like a Stormkiln Artist as a payoff. So just like with Raoul, Conduit, I can't remember his name, that's a kill or win con. This is an alternate way. While not a win con, I imagine there's a lot of things you can do with infinite treasure tokens.
I imagine so. Yeah, for sure.
So this
and the cool thing is too, I mean, you're not limited to just like having to go off right then and there, because you have an infinite amount of treasure tokens. You can draw your deck with that. You can deal infinite damage. You can,
maybe you just like
this might as well be infinite mana.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff with this card, and I see big things for it for sure.
Oh yeah, it's also a windmill slam right into my feather deck.
Yeah. Feather's good with this for sure. Because I mean, you just get everything's a 1-drop instant or sorcery, and
that pays
mostly instant, and pays for itself. Free feather protection. God's willing. Infinitely. That's pretty good. Well, so the next one we have here, everyone is excited about.
This one, this one needs no introduction when it comes to the uncommons. And I just want to note, the uncommons in this set are really good. Like, that's really where I feel EDH got its cards from this set, is in the uncommon slot. And this next one, definitely no exception to that. And that's Solve the Equation. For 2 and a blue, you get a sorcery with search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. So it's pretty much just spaced on the name, the white one. Originally from Lorwyn, got reprinted, that lets you or Morningtide, originally from Morningtide, but tutors for enchantment. Wow. I can't remember it right now.
Not Enlightened Tutor.
That's what keeps coming to mind. It's not Enlightened Tutor. It's
I don't think
I'll put a picture of it right here, because at the moment I can't remember. Drive me up a wall. But any which way, it's very similar to that card. And that one, of course, is rare. This is an uncommon. We're going to see more of this card than of that one. Although still, that card got reprinted there also as a rare, and is sitting at close to $5. And the original version at one point hit close to $30. This is a tutor straight to your hand. Idyllic, that's it. This is a tutor straight to your hand. It's not top of library. It's straight to hand. It's 3 mana, so it falls within that cost category of worth. It gives blue another tutor for things like a Cyclonic Rift or a Win Con, whatever have you. This is just going to be slammed into so many decks, and not even just Spellslinger decks. Because I can't think of any deck that's running blue that wouldn't benefit from a copy of this unless they're also in black and therefore don't necessarily need it because they have access to better tutors. But outside of that, you're going to want to run this. If you're in,
for sure.
If you're running blue and not black in your deck, this is likely going to want to be in there because it's going to be a board wipe you need, or a counterspell you want in hand, or whatever have you. Although counterspell may not be the best play because you do have to reveal it. So the market price on this puppy is $1.27 with a mid of $1.77. Card Kingdom's got him in stock for $2.29. Star City Games in stock for $1.99, and Channel Fireball in stock for $2.29. And TCG Near Mint Bulk as low as $1.50. Now, I picked up these in bulk about a week ago for $1.49. I was slow in making my order. I could have gotten them for around 50 cents each, and I'm a little peeved I didn't, but I actually thought I'd have a little more time before the price jumped. I was wrong. But even still at $1.50, this is a tutor that's going to see a lot of play. It's already played in over 1,600 decks in EDH. I see, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this in the $3 to $6 range because a lot of tutors of this type tend to end up in that price range. I think it's going to take a little while, unless of course it becomes huge in standard, which is it does actually see some standard play, like Sultai Control's using it apparently. But right now with the tournament scene, maybe it's really going to depend on how the tournament scene comes back over the course of this summer and forward to see where Solve the Equation ends up as far as that's concerned. But in EDH, this will be a staple, and this card will go up in value despite there being a lot of copies right now. Expect this uncommon to jump over time.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on to my favorite pick of the rares in the set is Culling Ritual. Already played in over 1,000 decks. It's a black and a green sorcery, and it destroys each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Then add a green or black for each permanent destroyed this way. I mean, that's sweet. So at the very worst, you're going to get you're going to pay 1 to destroy everybody's Soul Ring. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you're going to hit talismans, signets, mana dorks, soul rings, mana crypts. I mean, this is going to hit a lot. I actually think CDH may consider this card. It's a little pricey in CDH, but in CDH I think it's going to hit a lot, including their Thrasios. So I could actually see
Bob's, whatever.
Yeah, this is a very strong card that more times than not is going to ramp you. And if you're playing in a deck like this is directly going into my Abzan Saproling deck, and I just forgot his name. But that's going in there because I make tons of tokens. So any deck that's running these colors and makes tons of tokens, especially if you've got life drain mechanics when those things leave, you're just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit everyone for, 5-10 life by killing all my tokens and hitting you with Bob damage or whatever. Or not Bob, but blood artist damage and the like, Zulaport, so on. Yeah. And now I'm going to use that mana I just ramped into to Torment a Hailfire.
Yeah,
I mean, this is an easy turn 6 play, easy. Yeah. Because you think before then anyone's really going to be wasting their removal? They might on a Blood Artist, but they're not going to waste it on a token, a little 1/1 whatever.
No.
So you
certainly not. You
get up there and turn 6, you're suddenly going, okay, I'm going to kill all these things, my Blood Artist, these tokens, a couple of your Soul Ring Signets, whatever. Now I'm going to use that 10-12 mana to Torment on turn 6. kill the board.
Yeah. So TCG market is $1.57, mid $1.77, Card Kingdom $1.79, Star City Games, don't know. They don't have them listed for some reason.
They had every version except the normal version. They had like the pre-release foil, everything. It was really weird.
Yeah, Channel Fireball $1.79, near mint bulk on TCG Player as low as $1.89. So interesting. Now, this is kind of similar to Jessica's Will a little bit, which now sits at about $13 on the market and has become an EDH staple. And I mean, it does something similar, replacing the card draw with mass destruction. So, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. I love it.
Card's fantastic.
What else we got?
Have high hopes for this one going forward, definitely. This next one I'm also a big fan of. It's part of the reason is because it can go into any EDH deck because it's colorless.
Yep.
And that's the Wandering Archaic. For 5 mana, you get a 4/4 avatar. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2. Would you like to pay 2 for that? You're going to enjoy saying that, because if they don't, you may copy that spell and you may choose new targets for the copy. Generally speaking, at the very least, playing this card is going to mean your opponent will likely have to waste a removal spell and let you remove something in the process, because they're not going to want it to even get to their turn if they can, and they probably aren't going to have the extra 2 to spare, which means at the worst, you get a free removal. You get to remove a piece of their removal and remove something of your choice in the process.
Right.
If it's not,
and there's another side.
Oh yeah, it does have another side, which isn't so exciting, but you know, there may be times that
it might as well have just been a magic back.
Yeah. But for 3 mana, you get a sorcery, 3 colorless for a sorcery. Each player looks at the top 5 cards of their library, reveals a land and or an instant or sorcery card from among them, then puts the cards they revealed this way into their hand and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order, and each player gains 3 life. Group hug. You know, if your group hug, maybe you'd want to do that, but, you know, and reserve the front side, the Wandering Archaic side, as opposed to the Explore the Vast Lands. Leave that for, you know, when you know, desperately need to be a jerk or scoop the win at the end of hugging. I don't know. But yeah, I don't expect to see the back getting much play. I'll be honest, I almost wish it was like a tutor effect or something, because then at least you could be like, aha, opposition agent or something to turn that into, you know, you're tutoring for me. But there's really no way with looks at and then reveals. It's not even like they can get dinged for drawing a card, because they're not drawing either. So yeah, I'm just not really a fan of the backside in any way. But again, it kind of slots into hug. But that front side, definitely. And the price right now has kind of been reflecting that, with a market price of $9.37 and a mid of $9.59. And this card, I want to point out, is already played in over 1,700 decks. Card Kingdom, and we're like 2 weeks at this point from release, which is pretty good numbers. All of these pretty good numbers for having.
Those are huge numbers.
Yeah, I don't even think Bala Get Recovery 2 weeks out was at 1,700. It took about a month for that.
I don't think it was.
It's now in over 12,000. By the way, I checked it the other day. It's played in over 12,000 decks. EDH. But Card Kingdom's got this in stock for $8.99. Star City Games has it in stock for $9.99. Channel Fireball in stock for $8.99, and then you get TCG Near Mint Bulk as low as $8.99 with shipping included. This card hit its low, and has been there for about a week now, because at one point it was in the pre-order around $20, I think. Now I don't know at this point if it's going to go up or down. Like I'm suspecting in the next few. And then over the course of the next couple months, I'm expecting to see a drop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting.
It's interesting. So, I mean, we all know that booster packs have been, draft boosters have been very scarce. And it's interesting because this card is colorless and it is a Ristic-esque effect. It's good. It's solid. Yeah. It's playable in nearly every deck.
Well, even ones that are like can't play permanents like Cody, you can still put it in. If worst case scenario, you can play the backside if you've got Cody out that's preventing you from playing permanents. And if you don't, play it before you play Cody.
Right. My thoughts are maybe it will go down a little bit when we do see kind of the booster packs coming into the market a little more heavily. But long term, this is a $25 card.
Yeah. Yeah.
And higher. Yeah.
Let's also take into account it's an MDFC, which means it's less likely to see a reprint because it has that backside in a commander product and other places. So again, there's
like a 5% chance they're ever going to reprint any of these NDFCs. For years. Like they might eventually, but it'll be a long, long time.
Yeah.
$9 is nothing for this thing. Even if you're trying to like whittle it down to maybe 7, trying to catch it on the low. I don't know how much longer I'd wait.
Yeah,
because no matter what, you're gonna get a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, this card is very good. And we got one more. We got 3 more we're gonna talk about, but 2 of them are honorable mentions.
Yeah. So last one here, and this one might as well be a long shot here. So Tempted by the Auric is a sorcery for 1 blue, 1 triple blue, just like our friend, that counter spell that everybody loves to play that has multiple functions on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cryptic command. Anyway, TCG market 25 cents, mid of 49 cents, 25 cents at Card Kingdom, 49 cents at Star City Games, and 35 cents at our friend Channel Fireball.
But tell us what it does.
Getting out of the game and not selling singles anymore. I will. I just want.
I didn't hear about that. So they're getting out of selling singles.
Yeah, and they're creating a market like TCG Player. So.
Interesting.
Make of it what you will. Yeah. Anyhow, so what it does, for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls with mana value 3 or less. So it's a pretty expensive way to get you ahead on board on turn 4. Give me all your soul rings.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's creature or planeswalker. Can't get that. Never mind. Birds
of Paradise, or Land of War Elves, or whatever. Noble Hierarchs. Drawback is it's nearly limited to mono blue. With triple blue mana cost, it's gonna be tough to run in anything other than mono blue. But hey, we're all degenerates here anyway, so we have no problem playing mono blue. Sounds pretty nice to steal all your opponent's creature-based ramp early. I'm not completely sold on this one yet, even though this is my pick. But at 25 cents a piece, not a huge hit to the wallet to invest in 20 or 30 copies. So, interesting card for sure. But will it make its way into the upper echelon? No, absolutely not. No way. Could we see it being maybe a $2 or $3 card at some point in time? Maybe.
Well, we got a couple honorable mentions yet, which could have made the list.
They're uncommons.
And I just realized I got the prices. Wow, what happened there? Okay, messed up these prices a little bit, so be careful when you go into these because, that's not $1,799.
I kind of figured as much.
And the market,
I figured it was like a gas price.
Yeah,
I figured it's like a gas price.
Yeah. So this first one here is Fracture. It's an uncommon, an instant for a black and a white. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. So it's already played in over 1,400 decks. And TCG Market 76 cents with a mid of $1. Card Kingdom has them in stock for $1.79. Star City Games in stock for 49 cents. Hint, hint. Channel Fireball at $1.79. And TCG Near Mint Bulk as low as 57 cents. Now, I've been debating on this card, like, how often are you going to use the Planeswalker part of it? 1 in 10 times, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's a disenchant, which disenchant doesn't see a ton of play, which is why this was an honorable mention, but in the end didn't go on there. I don't know if in our format this is as good as alternative cards that already exist. For example, you take a card like Despark, which is going to hit creatures. Now, granted, they got to be CMC4 or greater. But this card, like the rare one as well, that hits monocolored. I can't remember what it's called, but both of those, I'm like, yes, good, but is it good enough to replace what's already a staple in our format? So I'm just not sure Fracture's going to be there because there's so many other options.
I mean, if you're between Disenchant and Fracture in your Orzhov deck, I probably would run Fracture over it, only because in the smallest of possibilities and worlds, you have outs to like a Planeswalker on the other side of the battlefield. So the options there, it is better than Disenchant, I think. Is it better than Disenchant all the time? No. Is it better than Disenchant some of the time? Yeah.
But is it ever better than? But is it ever better than Anguished Unmaking?
Yeah, there's some times it's less.
It's destroy. Anguished is gonna, well, I mean, if you're at 3 life or less, I guess it's better than Anguished Unmaking. If you're at 3 life or less, but that's about the only situation I would take that over Anguished Unmaking. I'd rather pay the 3 life and exile.
Or like turn 2. Yeah, or like turn 2. It just depends. I don't know.
And
I don't know if it's.
And it may just be if your meta is also Planeswalker heavy, that lots of Super Friends deck, this card suddenly becomes a lot more good in your deck because your meta sees so many Planeswalkers. But I think it is somewhat meta dependent.
Here's a deck idea for it. So you're like a group huggy type deck where you do play Planeswalkers and you gift those Planeswalkers to your opponents, and then you need to kill them before your turn so you can get them back and play them out yourself.
That's a long way to go around. It'd be easier just to play Fractured Identity, hit your own, and give all your opponents a Planeswalker that way.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, except for this costs like 75 cents.
True. So this next one here, we got the numbers a little messed up on the prices on the market in the mid. Apologize. They are not $17,000 or $9 or whatever it was I had there before I deleted it because I didn't want to accidentally say it. But Mortality Spear. This one I do really like. It's a black.
I do like this one.
A green and 2 for an instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you gain life this turn. Destroy target non-land permanent. I like that. It hits almost everything. And
hey, here's a sweet combo. You play the cheat lands, the ones that gain you a life or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So you play your tap land for the turn, and boom, you got 2 mana, kill anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet card.
Yeah,
so 1,100 decks already, which is pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
Again, for uncommons from a new set, it's kind of ridiculous how many that is. But TCG Market, 37 cents, Mid, 59 cents, Card Kingdom, 29 cents, Star City Games, 25 cents. Channel Fireball is out of stock at 30 cents.
Yep.
Near mint bulk as low as 57 cents on TCG Player. Yeah, again, Star City Games is the way to go with over 50 copies at 25 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are the Mortality Spear more so than Fracture. It's fantastic, but even so, there's a place for Fracture.
Yeah, Fracture's by no means bad. By no means bad. It's just I compare that to D-Spark at the same CMC, also instant, and I'm like, you know, and there's the question of, you know, is D-Spark worse because it's not going to hit something 3 or less than CMC? There is that problem, but it's also an Exile, and it's anything at that 4 CMC or higher, as opposed to this, which is only going to hit 1 of 3 card types. And it's a Destroy, not an Exile. An Exile's big, as we well know. But either way, I mean, these are all very playable, and you're never going to feel bad for putting them in a deck, you know, or playing them. You're always going to have a target to hit with these cards.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, that about wraps it up for specs we got for this particular episode. And so some final thoughts here. You know, you and I were going back and forth, and life's hectic. Things are busy. We got, you know, actual day jobs and, you know, kids and all kinds of other fun stuff going on in life.
Including a couple other podcasts that I do as well. Which I'm not going to plug here. They're unrelated, but...
No, go ahead. Plug them. Why not? Maybe
one's called The Road Beyond. I'm not on it. I actually direct it. I'm behind the scenes. We do it live. And that's all about paranormal, ghost stories, UFO sightings, all this. It's if you like the out there and the bizarre, it can be fun. And, you know, if you enjoy watching the guy on Ancient Aliens' hair continue to go up as he's slowly being teleported into space by aliens, then this is the show for you. Nothing to do with magic. But
what's the other one?
The other one is called Up to the Minute, and that's actually my daily show that I do. That one's work related.
Okay.
So there was yet another, but I stopped that one because there was too much. All around. So
nice. So anyway, having said that, I think we're going to move to a monthly format instead of a weekly, just to kind of give us a little bit of breathing room, be able to bring you guys good, solid analysis and content. You know, you can always join the Discord where, you know, things are moving and shaking on there, so you can get up to the minute live reactions, or hey, if you know just have a question about something, you're about to pull the trigger on a buy, you know, you can ask, you know.
Yeah, we have a lot of people asking that.
Yeah, so Discord's there for you guys who like to, you know, have access to that. You can always feel free to comment down below and ask about that to join. But yeah, I think we're going to move to a monthly format and see how it goes from there. So,
one last thing I did want to bring up. So my birthday occurred between the last episode and this one, and I finally got to that shop you were telling me to go to, and I got myself a bunch of reserve list cards, super cheap there. I believe you said something like, "Great, I shouldn't have disclosed my location," because I kind of cleared it out. Like I said, there's a few Ice Age and Mirage multicolor left. I didn't touch into those, but you know, I ended up getting about 20 to 25 reserve list cards. All at good prices. The only one I bought that I probably shouldn't have, because it actually had a bent corner, was the Yavimaya Heart of Yavimaya, I think it's called. It's the worst alliances land. But I don't actually own one, so I was like, you know what? It was $1 or $2, so I was like, I'm just gonna pick it up anyway, so that, you know, who knows, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe that car will be worth several hundred, and I'll be like, I can get $50 for it now, even though it has a bent corner. Yeah, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Or if for some reason.
But no, I did say that. I still feel the exact same way as I did when I said that. So yeah. But there's another one that you don't know about, and I'm going to keep that one a secret.
Oh, really? Curses.
To be fair, I've only been there once or twice, just because I'm not a fan of the proprietor. So, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
He actually made some pretty raw comments about the proprietor of the one that I had sent you to. So I was not too thrilled about that. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just come in and get all your underpriced stuff then. I won't actually buy anything worth what it's worth.
Well, everyone.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Everyone,
it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Oh, yeah. And as always, may your card draw be plentiful and your mana never screwed. And if you like this, be sure to click that like button down there. And again, you should be seeing more content on now a regularly monthly basis. And if you do share this, where should they share it, Trent?
They should just share it on Facebook or Twitter, because that's what you do now.
Anyone in particular they should share it with?
Just their friends.
Just their friends, not their mamas or papas? Not the Cub Scouts?
Just friends.
Not the guy down the street?
Just their acquaintance. People they don't even know on Twitter and Facebook.
You should just walk up to people randomly on the street and go, you need to watch this. See how they react.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll go well.
Just put it in their face. Just, hey.
Yeah. Look at
watch this. You know who you should share it with is that guy, that rapper slash rockstar guy.
Yeah.
Who's got all face tats.
Yeah, he just dropped a ton of dough on some
Post Malone. Is that his name?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what his name is.
I think it's
Is it really Post Malone?
I think so. Something like that.
I'm shocked if that's actually his name. I have no idea. I don't follow the pop music.
I don't either. I saw an article about it on TMZ, and I read briefly. I was like, oh, famous person playing Magic. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, but
anyway.
Well, everyone, we hope you've enjoyed, and until next time,
keep commanding the market.
Peace.